Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife, and you guys, it has been a while since we have done a Disney tag video, so today we have 10 Disney questions that we are going to answer. We think you guys are going to love this.
We just found a whole bunch of different questions from a bunch of different sources online. We just kind of compiled our own list.
And some of these questions may be things that we've talked about or even have answered in videos in the past that we completely forgot about. But we think a lot of this stuff is things that we actually haven't talked about. We talked a little bit through these questions before the video started. We had a ton of fun going through this list. Yeah. So you guys, we're gonna jump into it. I think this one's gonna be fun. Question number one, both Sherri and I were born in the 1980s. I was born in 1980. Sherri was born in 1981. So Sherri, what is your favorite Disney movie from the decade we were born, the 1980s?
I'm gonna have to go with Little Mermaid. She sneaks right in 1989.
I don't know how you could possibly argue with that. Little Mermaid, obviously the start of the Disney Renaissance, right? Like starting in 89 and then it just like hit full force after that.
Yeah.
However, I have to say something. Little Mermaid is my favorite animated movie from that decade. But my favorite movie from the decade,
and maybe mine too,
is actually not Little Mermaid. It's not even an animated movie. You guys, Flight of the Navigator.
Yes!
Oh my gosh.
I can't even tell you how many times I watched this movie growing up.
One of my all-time favorite, like, growing up movies.
It's so good.
Absolutely love that movie. So honestly, if we're going animated movies, we are both Little Mermaid because I think you have to be. Yeah. But Flight of the Navigator, come on. It's so good.
So good. Question number two, which Disney movie do you think is overrated?
This is a tough question to answer because we're going to tick some people off, right? Like there's no way to like give an answer that somebody isn't upset with.
Right, but we are going to explain our reasoning.
Yeah, and I will say we actually agree on this one as well.
Yes.
Right, we have the same answer. We think it's Frozen. Now, hold on. Don't click off the video. Let us explain.
Wait.
We love Frozen.
Love it. I love the music. I love the characters. The movie itself is excellent. Yeah. I love Frozen.
I think that the reason we think it's overrated is that there was a couple-year period there that it seemed like Frozen was the biggest thing in the world.
It was the only thing ever.
Like, it was all of the merch, it was all of the songs, it was all that you heard anywhere and everywhere. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think for us, it's not that we don't like the movie, because we love the movie.
Yeah.
It just, I feel like how big Frozen was in pop culture, I don't think there's any movie that could live up to what it was.
Right, I think the hype for it was overrated.
Totally. So, overrated for us, even though we love the movie, it's Frozen. Yeah. All right, Sherri, question number three. Mm-hmm. What scene from a Disney movie makes you cry every time?
Okay, so here's the thing about me. I cry all the time. And I was honestly trying to think if there's a Disney movie that I haven't cried at.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they exist. I think I cry at every Disney movie. But if we're going with like consistency, probably, and I think this is your answer too, The Lion King. When Simba like curls up next to Mufasa after he dies, I cannot.
So that is one of my top three. It is not my number one.
Oh.
It is top three for me. So one thing that you guys actually have not experienced on the vlog, I don't think. I am a very emotional guy. Mm-hmm. Like, I cry at movies.
He cried more at our wedding than I did.
100%. Like, I totally am an emotional guy. I'm a very nostalgic guy, right? Like, every time I read a news article about, like, the U.S. hockey team in 1980 winning the Miracle on Ice, I will cry. Like, that's just me, right? Like, any, like, overcoming, like, obstacles or a feel-good story or a nostalgia story, I'm just, like, tears. Yeah. And so for me, I have three, and it's very hard for me to separate those three. One of them, without a doubt, is Mufasa. I will say, in the original Lion King, in the live-action remake, that scene didn't get me.
True, me either.
Like, it did not evoke the emotion from me. The other scene for me is the first 10 minutes of Up. Like, honestly, like, it's like you go in to watch a movie and it just, like, punches you in the face.
If you can watch that and not cry, I don't think we can be friends.
Yeah, it's those first 10 minutes of Up. It's that love story just absolutely gets to me.
Yeah.
But honestly, probably the scene that I cry at the most and the hardest is in the end of Toy Story 3. When Andy is saying goodbye to all of the toys.
Yeah.
Like, that to me is, like, the most, like, nostalgic scene. And again, like, we grew, and we talked about this in our Toy Story 4 review, and which we loved and which we cried at a ton as well.
Sobbed at.
Sobbed at. But to me, the end of Toy Story 3 was just like, it was such a great ending because it was like, we'd grown up with all those toys.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know, him saying goodbye was us saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Right? And so honestly, I think that's probably my number one. But the first 10 minutes of Up and the scene in The Lion King, those always get me.
And question number 4, who is your favorite Disney sidekick?
This is another one of those that kind of tough to answer because there's so many good ones. But also, like, I think that if you look at a lot of like Disney sidekick lists online, a lot of them include characters that I don't necessarily consider sidekicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, I even saw Big Hero 6 included as a sidekick. Baymax was included as the sidekick in Big Hero 6, which, okay, I guess I get that, but I don't think of him as a sidekick.
I think of him as one of the 6.
Totally. And so for me, I think that I would have to say, though, I think for me it's Olaf. Again, this is kind of funny because we were just hating on Frozen a little bit.
We were hating on Frozen.
Good point.
But...
I just think Olaf is hilarious. Like, to me, every time Olaf comes on the screen, I smile.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he's so funny. I think he's so quirky. I love his humor. So for me, I think it's probably Olaf. What about you?
I'm gonna go with Mushu.
Yeah.
And what I like about Mushu is that he's very upfront about who he is and what his limits are. And he is fully confident in Mulan. Like, you got this, girl. But he's, like, obviously hilarious. And I like him.
Probably the perfect sidekick as far as, like, personality and the way he encouraged her. Like, he's probably like the perfect sidekick.
I think so, yeah.
Question number 5. We're halfway through the list. Sherri, who's your favorite Disney villain? And just to clarify this, Disney villains are tough because it's like, well, is it the one that I like the most? Is it the one that I think is like the most terrifying, the best, most villainous? Your favorite. That's what we're going to say. Your favorite
We're going
villain.
with favorite.
Yep.
I think Hades because he is just all kinds of sass.
Mine is, I do love, Hades is my most, I don't know that likable is the right word, but maybe likable.
He's sassy and snarky and he's just funny.
And so I love that about Hades.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's Maleficent. Now, I'm not going to lie, part of it is influenced by Angelina Jolie's portrayal of Maleficent in the movie, which to me, I think that movie is really underrated.
Phenomenal.
I thought she did such a good job. Like, we love that movie.
Yeah.
So for me, I think Maleficent would be favorite Disney villain.
Number 6. Which Disney character would be your best friend?
We struggled with this one a little bit, only because, like, is it the person you want to hang out with the most? Is it the person you think is most like you? So I think both of us have multiple answers.
Yep.
Right? So for me, my answers would be, number 1, Kristoff from Frozen. I don't know, like, I want to hang out with him. Like, I think that Kristoff's the kind of guy that we would just, like, kick back and hang out, and I like his personality, just chill. Like, I don't know, I like him. But then also Timon and Pumbaa, because that just sounds like a blast, right? Like Saturday night.
All kinds of mischief.
Totally. It's like Saturday night. Who am I calling? Timon and Pumbaa. We're going on the town, and it's going to be awesome. Sherri Beth, what about you?
I think Belle is probably most like me.
Sure.
I think that we could, like, read for hours and never say a word, but, like, get along fantastically. But I think that we would also need somebody like Anna to kind of pull us out of our shell a little bit and, like, make us have fun.
I could not agree more.
Those two.
Question number 7. If you could choose any Disney pet to be yours, who would it be?
Well, I'm a cat person.
True.
So I immediately start thinking of all the cats.
Yeah.
I think probably Marie. She's just so pretty and sassy, and I like her.
You have always really liked Marie.
Yeah.
I also went cat because you guys know it's my favorite movie.
Obviously.
How do I not choose Mochi from Big Hero 6? Right?
Hairy baby.
Hairy baby. Like, that's why I have to choose. So that would be my Disney pet for sure. Except the cat would probably hate me because literally it would be 24 hours a day of me being hairy baby. Like, it would just get annoyed and
Like Missy.
just like Missy.
Question number 8. Which Disney voice actor would you most like to meet?
I have 2 answers.
Me too.
Number 1 for me, and this is like a bit of a hometown geek out. A lot of you guys might not know, Irene Bedard, who voiced Pocahontas, is actually from Alaska, and I've never met her. And honestly, the fact that we are such big Disney fans, and the actress who voiced a Disney princess lives here and we've never met her, is kind of crazy to us.
Yeah, a little mind-boggling.
Like, one of these days is going to happen, and we're probably just going to pass out.
Yeah.
But she's definitely on my list just because of that hometown, our local Disney princess, I guess.
Yeah.
But honestly, for me, like, I think I've got to go Tom Hanks. He's just not only iconic, like, Disney voice, but also just an iconic person. Like, everything he does. If you've seen, like, the new Mr. Rogers trailer, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He is phenomenal in everything. And so I think to meet somebody who truly is, like, in my opinion, one of the greatest actors of all time, would just be amazing. What about you?
I agree with the Tom Hanks, just as somebody that I would love to meet, because literally I have been watching him since, like, Joe versus Volcano.
Yep.
It's my big, I mean, everything he's in, we make a beeline for. He's just phenomenal. But as far as voice actors that I would just like to hang out with, probably Kristen Bell, because she seems, like, hilarious and super down to earth, and I just want to, like, grab a coffee and hang out.
Yeah, you guys, we're actually big Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard fans.
Yeah.
Like, we love, like, the way that they seem to be as a couple, the way they interact with each other.
Yeah.
Just to us, like, we laugh at them and with them so many times. I think that's a good choice.
Yeah.
Question number 9. Sherri, what is your all-time favorite Disney soundtrack? Now, we're not just talking single song, whole album here.
Oof. This is so hard for me. I'm a huge music person, and I own almost all of the Disney soundtracks. Man, it's hard for me to, like, really pick one. I'm gonna go 2.
Okay, you do it.
The Rapunzel soundtrack, I love. Tangled. And then also Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's just beautiful. All of the songs, gorgeous.
We have Hunchback on vinyl, and it's the kind of thing that you can just, like, put on and just, like, let play, and it's just...
It's so pretty.
It is so pretty.
And, yeah.
For me, I agree with you. This is hard because, like, one of the things that's so iconic about Disney movies is their music, right? And so I will say, though, for me, it's Lion King. Like, I just love that whole album. Although I will say maybe, like, a hidden gem for me would be Tarzan, because I love Phil Collins and the fact that, like, Phil did all the music for that.
The entire soundtrack.
The entire soundtrack, that's pretty awesome. But I think for me, it's got to be Lion King.
And the last question number 10. What is the funniest Disney movie?
This is one we talked about, and we actually have the same answer. Emperor's New Groove.
You guys, it's so funny.
And it is so quotable.
Quotable all the time.
Like, literally laugh out loud funny for us.
Like, beginning to end, we just laugh. And then we quote it all the time without even, like, realizing that we are.
Totally. So Emperor's New Groove, if you have not seen that movie, you have got to see it. It is
so funny.
It is so funny. So definitely for us, the funniest Disney movie. So friends, as always, we want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments below, which of our answers did you agree with? Which did you not agree with? Do you want to start a fight with us now based on any of our answers? Let us know in the comments below. We always love hearing from you guys. And as always, we love you guys. And we will see you on the next LeggLife video.